Hey Budgeteers, Google Sheets Part 3. Here we go. All right, Budgeteers, last time when we left off, we just finished the income box that we'd created, and we're basing that off of the ultimate budget template here. So if you want just the Excel version of this spreadsheet, you can go ahead and click the link that just appeared up at the top of this video, and you can actually just download this in Excel and you can start using it today. This is mine that I update frequently. So you can see here we have the income box that we've just created over here in Google Sheets, which is what we are creating right now. And then if you jump over to the debts tab, this is what we'll be creating today. So just as simple as the income side, we're going to make the debt side, and we'll see how much time we have left and see how much further we can get going. So I'm going to jump over to the Google Sheet, and actually just to do this super quickly, because they almost look the same, we can go ahead and just copy this. We'll leave a space in between them, and I'll paste it over here. And what I'm going to do is just call this debts. And I've got different debts over on this side. So let's go ahead and pull that up. So with the debts, it has the same names: name, budgeted, actual, and difference, which you'll see across the top, and we copied over. But then here we have our different debts that you might want to add in, and you can have as many as you want. As you can see, these boxes are much larger than what we're building on the other side. So build them how you want. But debts are generally not a good thing. So instead of having this be green, let's go ahead and change the color. We'll make it like a good reddish color. I think that's too dark. Yeah, we'll go debt as a light red. Now here I'm going to want to change these. Some typical debts that you may add in here. We might say our Discover card, or a Visa card, and maybe a student loan. Or actually, you know what? Let's change one of these. We'll do a car loan. Those are the three of the best types that you can throw in there. Now, some people will want to count their mortgage as a debt. You can go ahead and do that. The financial world is a little bit iffy on where that actually goes. To some people, it's just a monthly expense. To others, it's a debt. However you want to look at it is great. I'm not here to judge. So we've got our yellow boxes here that we can change to budget for these different debts. And again, our total will go up and it will sum these. So because we copied it over, it's just doing the same thing as what we built over here in part 2 of the video. So I'll quickly go back over these just so that you remember what they're doing. This one here is doing a sum, so equal sign, SUM, open parentheses, then you highlight these cells and close them, and it's going to give you an addition of these three numbers, which is $5 in this scenario since it's 5, 0, and 0. If I change that to 10, it will be 10. If I put a 5 here, 15, etc. So for now, we'll just go ahead and leave everything blank. In fact, yeah, we'll leave the income for now. Over here, we've got $10 as our actual, so we've just entered that in as well. We'll close that out. Now, one thing about debts that you'll want to notice, if we jump over here, when I put in a debt of $5, it'll actually tell me that the difference between the two, if it's negative, is a green number, where over here a negative is a red number. Red because if you have income than what you anticipated, it's bad. But over here, if you pay less debt than you anticipated, then it's good. So as we jump over to the Google Sheet again, these boxes right here will have conditional formatting, and we'll go ahead and do that in another video once we have all of the boxes on, but we do need to know that it is going to react differently for the future. So since we still have a little bit of time here, let's jump on to the next section. We'll do our personal withholdings. So if you don't want this box here on your budget, you can actually skip this one, but I put it in every budget that I create just in case there's a charity or a savings account or something else that you want to continuously put money into. So on this one, we'll go ahead and take personal withholdings and we'll build that on our own. We'll start from scratch. So we'll leave a space in between here and we will again recenter these. So merge cells, it's going to make it into one big box instead of having multiple littles. We will call it withholdings. And let's jump back over here. And we've got some different options that we can do, but we basically want to shape it very similar to the other boxes. but it does have a different purpose altogether. So we'll go ahead. Oops, I spelled that wrong here. Withholdings. And we'll call them personal withholdings just to match exactly with the other document here. And we'll want to center that. And then we're going to put in our titles over here. So we could have things like I do tithing, savings, other, I don't know, we'll just do 3 for now. Again, the other template is built to support anything you want to add into it, so it can be as big as you want it to be. Now on this one, you can choose how you want to do your withholdings. You could do it as a percentage, 10%. You could do it as just a fixed dollar amount every month that you're going to do, $100. And to format that into currency, we could just push that here. You can center these as well if you want, so we can highlight that and make them all centered. And that way they'll do that. And then for our personal withholdings, that's the budgeted every time. It will always just take the budgeted amount of those two, and actuals will come over here. So there's a couple of different ways you can do actuals for your withholdings. If you just want it to take a straight amount every single time, and it's a fixed dollar amount like this savings one for $100, you could always just do equals the cell next to it. That's going to give you $100 all day long. It equals the one right next to it, so it'll always be $100. There are many different ways that you could do this. You could make it more complicated. So this is for some of you folks that are a little bit more advanced in Excel. You can do if this is greater than 100, or is greater than, we'll say is greater than this box right here, then we want to pay this amount. Otherwise, we'd want to just do $0. And so right now, because we didn't actually make enough money, it's not going to take the $100. But if I make $100 here, oh, it's got to be greater, so $101, then it will take $100 in savings. So we can get as complicated as we want, and I'll go deeper into that after we build the whole sheet. We'll talk about some different structures and things that you can do. But for now, we would just say this is going to be easy. It's always $100 no matter what happens. We always want to save that. And we always want to move 10% of tithing. So what I would do is take the total amount that we've earned, and I would multiply that by the 10%. And I would hit enter. So always this will be 10% of what I make. And that will give you those. And for other, it could be anything. You could do any of the choices, but for now, I'll just do them as dollars, zeros, and we'll center those. Now we'll go ahead over here and do a difference. A difference is going to be anything that you haven't paid between the two, but in this scenario, there isn't an actual expense tracker yet, so we're going to leave this blank for now. And we'll just take some of the standard formatting. So if you look over here, again, we've got the full box. We've got some yellows so that they can be changed. These are actuals, so we won't edit those. Let's go ahead and make these yellow. We'll just format that by highlighting this row. We'll click on, oh, you know what though, it's going to change that percentage. So what we'll want to do is we'll just go here and we'll fill with yellow. Makes it a lot easier than going back and editing. So then we'll put the thick box around this square here. We'll make that nice and bold. Maybe a little too bold. What did we do on this one? You know, let's just format that. And then we'll make that the same here. So we'll grab this one, make it the medium size bold, and do a full box. Yeah, it looks about right. And then we'll have our total here. And we will highlight the whole thing. So now what we might want to do, because we have this here, is we'll say, well, 10% and $100, that doesn't really add up to anything, but we're always going to be saving this amount here. Now, you can come back and later build in a difference if you ever think there will be a difference. But if you don't think that there will ever be a difference, what you could do in this scenario is just unmerge these cells here and instead just make it 3 wide. And we could actually just remove this. So we'll go ahead and delete this and we'll shift these left so that nothing gets messed up. And let's put the big box around it one more time. So this right here, you could just make it an absolute and basically say there never is a difference here. There's always just an actual amount, which I kind of like. So we're going to leave that for now, and we'll come back and fix that later if we decide that we want to add in a difference. But if you don't, this will work for you. And that is where we will end today. And this is Budgeting with Google Sheets Part 3. So we'll keep going and creating that spreadsheet that we have in Microsoft Excel over here in Google Sheets, and we're going to get it to function very similarly, but it will be different so that you can use it on the fly, you can use it on any computer via the internet. Thanks for joining us, Budgeteers. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. I'm extremely glad to have you here. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up. For more awesome videos, make sure you are subscribed.